Good morning, everybody. What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. You guys are probably watching this in the afternoon. That's normally when I post my videos, but it is morning for me. And today we're getting started on like our first like actual modification besides the exhaust on the truck. We are installing some MicTuning Q1 Rocklights. Now I've had these for about 2 months, but I have not had a vehicle to install them on. If you guys remember, we did the MicTuning C1 Rocklights on the Ford, and that video actually did a really good. I think we have like 45,000 views on that video. You guys are killing it. And a lot of what you guys were talking about is that you had problems with the app. And I can tell you right now, I have never had a single problem out of the app, out of the lights, out of connectivity, anything. I would show you guys right now, but one, it is daylight, and two, the battery is dead in this truck. That's why it's still sitting here. I would like to move it over into the street so I can actually pull my new truck up right here and kind of work in the center of the driveway. But battery's dead. My jumper cables are 3 hours away, and I'm not going to buy some jumper cables just to move a truck when I have two sets that just happen to be in my car. But a lot of you guys were complaining about app connectivity issues and everything like that. It might be other sets of Rocklights, or it might be your phone, because I have honestly never had a single problem out of these. They're over, I think they're over a year old now, and I still have never had a problem with them. When I put the new headlights in on the truck, I was using them. I was using the Rocklights in Daytona and everything. Never had an issue. So after that video, MicTuning reached out to me, said that they were just releasing the Q1 Rocklights and they wanted another video based off how well the C1 video did. So today we're going to be installing these Q1 Rocklights. Let's get it all unboxed and see what's all inside. Alright, so let's slide the cover off, and this is upside down. There we go. Open it up. Inside we have our remote that has slidden out of the bag. It's actually the first time I've opened this, and I've had it for 2 months, I think, if not longer. You have your app instructions. I had to guess it probably uses the same app as my C1s. It tells you about which Rocklights you have. These are all your rubber boots to go on the bottom of the Rocklights. The wiring for the Rocklights themselves. Main thing. Alright, so this is cool. You got your two different harnesses. They're all actually already connected. But let's take a look at what these look like. Oh wow, those are big. That feels like glass. It's full metal housing that feels like glass. Now I'm gonna call some people out right here, and they might not like it. I'm not going to say names, but a lot of companies that you guys see on Instagram that are offering sponsorships, they're selling Rocklights, they're selling wheel lights. They wholesale buy all their Rocklights, their wheel lights from companies like the companies you find on Amazon that sell Rocklights like these for $15, $20 for a set of 4, and they mark them up and they sell a 4-piece kit for $80, $120. They buy the cheap RGB Rocklights that you can normally buy for 30, 40 bucks on Amazon. They mark them up and they sell them for $150. I had one company actually follow me this morning on Instagram. They had posted all over their page sponsorship opportunities. Companies like that scam people because they get you in with a sponsorship. They tell you, oh, 20% off. So then you're really paying like $120 for Rocklights that are originally 30 bucks on Amazon. The thing I absolutely love about MicTuning, you're not going to find another company selling something like this. You're not going to find the same Bluetooth module. You're not going to find the same app or anything like that. These are all very specific. Now, I can tell you, this remote gets used with a lot of things, so there's probably the same software or whatever inside this module, but I have not seen other Rocklights that look like these. I've put plenty of these on. We just put 12 of them, or 8 or 12 of them on Brandon's truck. These are the Q1s. These up in here are the C1s. Those look different as well. Now all these companies are wholesale, they're getting wholesale pricing. They're buying all Rocklights and wheel lights and everything in bulk. and then they're marking them up, sometimes 30%, sometimes 50%, and selling them. And they're scamming a lot of people in the truck community by saying, sponsorship, we'll sponsor you, we'll give you 30% off. And you're like, oh my gosh, 30% off, and I can say I'm sponsored? Like, that's such a good deal, and you're still getting absolutely fucking scammed. Like, excuse my language, but they're still scamming you at the end of the day. They're still making profit off of you, and now they're getting advertisement, and you're gonna send more people to them with your 10% off discount code that they're gonna give you. I fell into this trap about 4 years ago with a company that actually ended up coming out and being a lot better of a company, but in the very beginning, they kind of got me with that whole trick too. Detailing companies are the same way. There's a lot of small detailing companies that use the same soaps and products and everything as someone else. They just mark them up more than they give you some stupid 15% discount. Not sitting here trying to talk crap about anybody, but I'm going to call people like that out. There's been influencers on Instagram that have created their own lights, and they're buying the same cheap lights off Amazon and wholesale prices. They're paying $50 for 30, 40 rock lights, and then they're selling them for $140 for a 4-piece kit. They're making buku freaking money off of it, and they're just stealing money from you guys. So we've got all this unboxed. You guys have seen everything that's in it. It's your rock lights, your module. They send you all the hardware that you guys are gonna need. You've got all your rubber boots and everything that go underneath of them. More rubber boots. You also have a remote, because just in case you have app issues and you can't get on your phone to turn your rock lights off, guess what? Now you can turn them off. You guys don't have an excuse to complain or anything about an app. Although I have never had a single issue with the app to this day. I'll pull it up on my phone. Never had an issue with it. It's not going to connect to my truck right now because my truck is like completely dead. Like, my dome light isn't even turning on. Like, that is how dead this truck is. Got spider webs and everything inside. I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys can kind of see it, but I mean, she is dead. She's been getting very mistreated. But we're gonna get the new truck started. I'm gonna try and back it up as close over here as I can, and just kind of get it a little bit farther away from the garage, give myself some more room up there. All right, so truck is all backed into the garage. Wow, it's a lot more echoey in here now that the big truck's blocking some of the sound. But we are going to be doing 2 rock lights in each wheel well. I have something else coming to kind of do underneath the truck. I had a company reach out to me and want to test a product for them, so I'm going to do that. So instead of like how we did on the Ford, we did 1 in each wheel well, and then we did 2 underneath the sides, and then 2, or not 2, we did 1 on each side and 1 in the front and the rear, because we had an 8-piece. We have an 8-piece again, so I'm going to be doing something similar, but instead of doing 1 in each wheel well, we're going to do 2 in each wheel well. We're going to leave the gap underneath the truck, because like I said, I have something coming to kind of lighten up right in there. And this isn't a show truck. I'm not going to make this thing a show truck or anything like that, so I'm not too worried about that. But I do want to put some lights underneath of it, because it is nice when you're working on it and stuff like that to have lights in the wheel wells for if it gets dark out, you're trying to put bolts back together, you're trying to put everything back together, and you can't see anything, so you're sitting there with your phone, flashlight, and everything. The rock lights do help a lot with that, and I do plan on going off-roading with this. I'm not going to be rock crawling or anything like that, so not actually using the rock lights for what they're made for, but we're just going to rice out the truck, I guess. So let's get started and mounting these in each wheel well. What's nice with this truck is we have these plastic liners in here, so it's plastic up until right here. So I'm going to mount just above it and then run that wire in there, mount just above this one, and then run the wire down and probably tuck it back behind there. And we'll probably have to mount the module in the center of the truck, this being a crew cab. Wires are probably not going to reach all the way up underneath the hood, so we'll probably have to mount it like right underneath the driver's seat somewhere, and then run our power and our ground up to our fuse panel for our aux beam switch. So like how we did with this, we had to mount the control box kind of just below the bed. It was right next to the fuel tank, so we had to mount it from there and run the wires all the way up to the battery. This one we're probably gonna have to do something similar. Okay, so one thing that is majorly different than the C1 rock lights, this one comes with its own switch. Now I have the switch disconnected, just trying to figure out how I was going to wire it, because if you guys have been watching the videos, or if you're new here, you guys need to watch my other videos. I just installed an aux beam 8-gang switch panel into this truck that is going to control all my aftermarket accessories. This is it right here. So I didn't want to, you know, install another switch. So I was sitting here trying to figure it out. Well, you can actually unplug it. It comes from right here. You can unplug it. Where's it at? And normally you would plug this in. This is how it came. It would be plugged in right here. These two jumper wires plugged in right here. So these would run to your battery, and this switch would just go inside your truck anywhere you want. But I didn't want the switch because I have the whole switch panel. So I unplugged it and plugged these in directly to the module. So I'll have to run from these to my fuse panel. I don't really need the inline fuse, but I will leave it on there just in case something were to happen. It's better to be safe than sorry. But I have fuses on my fuse panel itself, and relays and everything like that to protect my truck from burning down or anything. But I saw this and thought it was cool. Thought you guys might want some information on that. So if you don't have a switch panel in your truck, you guys can hook this up and run the switch inside your truck. And that way, if say you lost your remote, your phone's dead, and you need to shut your rock lights off, you just flip the switch off and they shut off. Well, unfortunately, what I wanted to do is not going to work. I wanted to do 2 in each wheel well. And how I did that in the Chevy, I mounted one like right over here, and then I mounted one like right over here. The tubs in here make it look like that's possible, but I drilled I drilled a hole right there and had the drill through the other side right here, but there's a gap in between, and the supplied hardware is not long enough, and I don't want to go buy some 2-inch long, actually these are probably 2-inch, I don't want to go buy some like 4-inch long bolts or anything to make this work. So what I'm going to end up doing, I'm just going to mount one in the center just like I did on the Ford. I have some underglow strips coming. I know ricer as hell, right? But I've got some underglow strips coming that are RGB, so I figured I would just put them along here, because if I want to run like red or green or blue or anything like that, I have RGB white Rocklights. I could have the green or red or whatever back here and then have it light up all the way underneath there, and this thing actually glow at night. But instead, I'm gonna put one rock light there, one right in here, one right in there, and then one in the fender up there. And I'll probably end up putting the strips in the same area, because now I'll have white here, white here, white here, and white there. And I'll put a strip there, a strip across the back, a strip across that side, and a strip across the front. So I mean, if I still want to run the red, green, or blue or anything like that, I can. The problem with RGB strips is when you run white, it's not really a true white. So that's the nice thing about these MicTuning rock lights, is they have a very pure, true white. But just want to update you guys on the change of plans. I'm gonna get all these mounted now, and I'll pick you guys up. All right, guys, hours later, and I want to update you on something. So most of the time when you're installing rock lights, normally the hardest areas are underneath the cab and the wheel wells on the bed and everything. You have to drill holes, you have to use your screws and nuts and everything like that. Normally the front of the truck is the easy part. It's normally plastic fender liners that you're just drilling a quick hole through, and then you're mounting your rock light. But on this, we got the plastic liner. It is not the easiest to remove. You have these 8mm, or I think they're 8mm, 8 or 7mm screws that go all the way around, mount up here, and then you have a couple 8mm up underneath here, there, and there. And then you have your dryer that you have to remove. There's some plastic rivets in here, and then this still does not want to come out. It's very rigid plastic. The reason you have to take it out is because there's not really any room in here, and there's a fiberglass layer right down in here that I'm guessing is for like insulation and everything like that, but the bolts won't fit through it. I went ahead and drilled my holes, and I couldn't get my bolts to come through the other side, so I had to pull the liner. On this side, I started pulling the liner and there's a bolt that I absolutely cannot get to. There's one, it's like right above the frame rail in there. I'd have to take it out with a wrench. So I got to looking in here. If I unbolt the battery retainer, this thing that holds the battery down, the battery tie down, whatever you want to call it. If you unbolt that, you've got a bolt right here, two right here, and then you've got a plug, and you've got this clamp right here, and you can remove your air box, which actually isn't a bad thing. You can clean out your air filter and clean out your air box and everything while you've got it out. And then you've got this padding right here, which I'm assuming is what that side used to look like, and I'm guessing something had to get replaced over there. That condenser looks pretty new. I was talking to Brandon about that. All the connections look like fairly new, like less than, I'd say, 5 or 6 years old. So I'm guessing that had to be replaced, and they probably had to pull a lot of stuff over there. Or when they disconnected it and the Freon leaked all over the mat in there, it ate it up or something. But I figured this would be a lot easier to pull apart. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill my holes, and if I still can't get the bolt through, I'm gonna take a razor blade and cut just a little section of where this is at out. But everything else is mounted. We did 2 underneath the tab, 1 and each wheel well, of course. And I had this little dent right here, and since I had the fender liner out, I took a baseball bat and tried sticking it up in there and pulling as much of this out. I don't have a body panel hammer, so I tried lightly tapping it with what I had, because it's risen right here. So I was trying to get it to go down. That way when this comes out, it's not pulling this out and pulling this out, and push this in, pull this out. But I did get it to come out quite a bit. It used to be quite a bit more, and it was a lot more noticeable, so I helped a little bit. But we got these two. I ran the wire down inside the wheel liner in there. Got one like right here, and then one like right here, and then we've got our ones in the rear wheel wells with the screws coming through the top. Which, guys, I do plan on bed lining this. I'm gonna use the spray and Raptor liner. I want to ask you guys, since this truck's probably not gonna be repainted for, I'd say, about a year or two, at least a year, because we're gonna be here for another 8 months, and I can't paint another vehicle in that garage. And 2, this truck doesn't fit in the garage even with just a leveling kit on 33s. So I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think about a color matched bed liner? Do some like Ryan Mayer type stuff. Except for he does like all the crazy colors and everything. He gets the dyeable Raptor liner and throws like green, red, and all that crazy, all those crazy colors. I'm thinking of throwing our paint code and some Raptor liner and have a color matched bed, because I want this truck to be simple and clean. I'm thinking some 20-inch King Ranch stocks on some 35s, either that or I'm gonna go like 22 by 10s or 20 by 10s on some 35s. I don't want this thing super wide. I want this thing really practical. I want to be able to go through drive-thrus. I want to pull up to the ATM. I want to be able to do stuff like that. So I want this thing really clean. I want to do like color matched tow mirrors, color matched door handles, color matched headlights, color matched tails and third brake light. Completely black out all the windows. Tint will be here actually tomorrow, I think. I want to tint the windshield. I want to do a lot of color match on this truck. But I think color matched bed would be pretty sick. So guys, drop down in the comments if you think that would be cool, because I plan on ordering probably a gallon of this color paint. I'm gonna repaint the roof before it gets any worse, and I'm probably gonna try and get another fender that isn't dented, and like when we get headlights and a grill and all that types of stuff, and eventually a move bumper and everything, I want to be able to color match it and already have the paint. So if you guys like the idea of a color match bed, let me know down below. If you'd rather see the bed black, let me know. I do have a color in mind that I am going to be doing with my powder coat underneath the hood and some of the suspension and everything. So if you guys would like to see the color of my powder coat in the bed, I'm not really the biggest fan of that. But hey, let me know. If you guys have any opinions, drop them down below. Nothing is stupid in my mind. If you guys think something will look cool, let me know, and I might just agree with you, and it might end up on the truck, and then you can say, hey, that was my idea. I think that'd be pretty cool. So I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna get all these wired up, and then I'm gonna get you guys some nighttime shots so we can close up this video. But I wanted to update you guys on like how much of a PIA the front is on this truck, because normally the front's the easiest part. Everything else was easy on this one except for the front. But see you in a little bit. All right, so first of all, before I show you all the truck, I have to say these are brighter than the C1 Rocklights. I haven't ever seen the C2s in person, but these Q1s are bright. They're very bright compared to the C1s that I have. So I'll just take a look at it. Oh yeah, they are bright. There is like literally almost no dead space underneath the truck. The only bit of dead space is a little bit right here and a little bit right here. But I'm sure if I were to get this thing sitting a little bit higher, that rock light right there would put some more light down there. But wow, are these things bright. I cannot believe it. So we got quite a bit of dead space back here, but I mean there's no rock light back there. But I was not expecting that much light to be directly underneath of it. I was expecting a lot less than that. I was expecting 2 little spot beams because of how close this thing is to the ground. But nope, MicTuning proved me wrong. So since everyone talks about having connectivity issues, let's go into MicTuning, go to our Rocklights, connecting. Wow, just like that, connected. Weird how that works. Wow, that blue looks really good. That's amazing. Oh yeah. So like I told you guys, I've got some underglow strips coming. So if you guys watch some future videos, I already have all this light underneath here. So I'm gonna fill in some of this light up here, some of the light back there, and maybe some more light around the axles. But I was not expecting that much light to be underneath of it. Wow, that is insanely bright. I'm blown away, and the white is so pure. It's honestly whiter than the C1s as well. I'm very, very impressed. And of course, I did wire these to the aux beam switch panel. I still haven't put my stickers on yet, guys, so don't hate me yet. But wired it to the switch panel. So super easy install. My module is mounted. There's a cross brace on the frame. It's mounted on top of the cross brace. All the wires are tucked up next to it, and then I ran our power and ground all the way across the frame rail and then up into the engine bay and right to our what do you want to call it? It's not our switch panel, right to our fuse box for our switch panel. I don't know what you call it, but this came out sick. I can definitely say I was not expecting it to look anything like that. Alright, so I want to give a huge shout out to MicTuning for sending these things out. I will have a link down in the description for where you guys can go pick these up. They look sick. I mean, that's no Photoshop, that's no trick work. A lot of people, when they post their pictures on Instagram and everything, they'll pull out some lighting and a photo editor and make their rock lights look super bright. But you guys can clearly tell in a video, my face is no different, street light is no different. These rock lights look sick. So guys, like I said, I'll have a link down in the description. While you're down there checking out that link, drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. If you made it this far and you haven't already liked the video or you haven't hit the subscribe button, obviously you like my content, hit the subscribe button. Or check out my channel and watch my other videos. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.